Hi, Bud. Nice to meet you using this video. I will answer all the interview questions. First, what is your name and how long have you been living in Bali? My name is John Robert Sinaga. I came from Medan. I never live in Bali, but I was stayed in Bali in 2 weeks in 2028. At the time, there is an assessment process for a new project where one of hotel in Bali asking me to did wastewater management because they have problem with clean water source at the time. Second, tell me about your 3 recent video. First, in 2024, from June till December, I handled upgrading road construction using asphalt or hot mix. The owner project was PT Inalum, one of the state-owned enterprises in Indonesia. The project cost was 27 billion rupiah, and the length of the road was 4 kilometers. I lead 37 manpower, including dump truck drivers. At the time, I used heavy equipment such as 1 motor grader, 1 called milling machine, 2 PTRs, pneumatic tire roller, 1 tandem roller, 1 asphalt finisher, 1 air compressor, 1 baby roller, 2 compactors, and 7 dump trucks for delivering, loading, and unloading asphalt from asphalt mixing plant to the project site. It is mandatory that I did safety briefing each morning we start the project. Second, in 2023, from August till December, I also handled upgrading road construction at Deli Serdang or Dairi Regency. The project owner is government. The material also asphalt or hot mix. The project cost was 70 billion rupiah and the length of the road 3.2 kilometers. I lead 30 manpower at the time. We use also heavy equipment such as my project in 2024. Yes, of course, I always did safety induction of safety briefing in the morning before we start the construction. Third, in 2016 until 2019, as a project manager, I handled wastewater management project using evaporation system at sugar factory, both at Medan Sugar Industry in Medan and Andalan Furnindo in Jakarta. The project cost for both sides was 360 billion rupiah, where all the machinery, pumps and equipment were imported from Italy and Spain. I lead 40 manpower at the time. There is brick construction, concrete, installing piping and installing machinery. We also use heavy equipment such as Tadano hydraulic crane to lift up heavy materials, excavator, and also dump truck to loading and unloading waste at the time. We also construct concrete lagoon to collect all the waste water before dumping to the villagers' drainage. It is also mandatory that I have to do safety briefing in the first time before the construction start. I have to make a report daily and also weekly and monthly. Number 3, tell me about a time you prevented fraud and theft. I experienced 1 fraud illegal action in 2024 when I handled upgrade road construction. In the requirements from the owner state that all documents must be clean and clear before we start the project. But then one of my staff tried to lie by submitting an illegal documentation of heavyweight operator certification by change the name of the true and right operator with his relative. Fortunately, I usually do the scanning for all the document first before I submit it to the owner project. Once I scan it, I found that one document is illegal. Why? Because the name of the operator on the certification does not match with the name of the operator that released by the government. If not, if I submit all the document before I scan it and I didn't found the illegal action, then my company will be rejected by the owner project because they will did also the final check to make it clean and clear before they invite us to do the construction. This is way I save the company. In the other hand, there is also a story when one of my customers tried to submit begging or fake receipt, pretended that we order tools or material from their shop. But when I did double check with my inventory staff, they said we never submit or we never ask the material or tools such as the invoice that submitted by the supplier. And then I talked to the supplier, we never asked about this material. I saved the company because the value of the material is also very high, or much. 4, tell me about a time you helped raise capital for a project. One time as a project manager, we planned to install some pumps and piping for our project at the time. Then management asked me to calculate the manpower, the cost, and also the schedule, the duration. I see that my supervisor and my staff at the time that's not too busy. So I asked the management if I can use my supervisor and my staff to did the installation for the pumps and also for the piping. They agreed. So I invite them, and then I, my supervisors, and my staff, we muddy our hands, handling all the installation for the pump and also for installing piping. But I keep the capital for the project high, and then also the value that I get beside the capital we can keep in our project, also the sense of belonging of the employee is raised up for the work and also for the company. 5, tell me about a time you helped plan project from the beginning before architect was hired and funds were raised. Yes, one time there is a plan to construct a biodigestor project, and the flow process was, first, I did assessment process. Assessment process means to assess everything possible related to the project. I have to go down to the project site, directly to the mill, palm oil mill, and talking with the manager, with the staff, asking them about the capacity, daily capacity, about the lagoon that will be covered, how many lagoon they have, what the size of the lagoon, and how about their wastewater component or compound at the time. And I also asked any of wastewater sample, then I took it to the laboratory to take a test and to have the requirements I needed for the project will be start later on, that it is sweet for the biological inside the biodigesters working well to produce methane at the time. The second process is regulatory process. Regulatory means that all the regulations in Indonesia, if we want to build the biodigester project or power plant project, it has switched to the government regulation. First, I have to go to PLN, one of a government owned, to purchase PPA, power purchase agreement, because PPA is only released by the PLN. So I discussed with them how much is to produce PPA, how long it takes to release the PPA, and I give all the data they needed. And I also went to the environmental department staff to talk with them about the regulation of the value of water, air, and sound pollution if we build this project. And during all this process, I and my team tried to make a design drawing. After that, we gave all the drawing to the architect and then asked the department to calculate all the costs before we invite the contractor to do the work. 6. What are you available to start? My availability is 1 week after we have confirmation from both sides. But 7. What is your expected compensation? After calculating anything, that I have moved to Bali and I have to rent some housing there, then I come to the expected compensation monthly is 56,500,000 rupiah per month. And the last question, how much should a project manager cost compared to overall budget? A project manager cost is 1.5% from all overall budget. That's all about my answer for this interview. Thank you. Hope see you soon in a time that God created for me and for you. Thank you, bud. Ciao.